Welcome back to the show. Back to tell you about a great 20th anniversary celebration. We've talked about the organization on the show before, Live, Work, Play. They have their Engines for Success event tonight. I'm happy to say a sold-out event that I'll be a part of. We are joined by Keenan Wellar, who is one of the co-founders of Live, Work, Play, alongside Al Condeluci, who is the CEO of Community Living and Support Services. Welcome to the show, guys. Great to have you here. Congratulations on 20 years. And this is an exciting year for you guys. And I want to go back to 20 years ago and how this all came to be for you, because you kind of stumbled into this, didn't you?
I certainly did stumble into this. I actually misread an employment opportunity as a young student, and I didn't know what a developmental challenge was. I thought it was kids from economically disadvantaged families, which I had experience with.
Okay.
And then I went in and they were asking all these really strange questions, and they hired me, and it turned out I was working with people with autism and Down syndrome and other intellectual disabilities. And having never met people with these labels in my entire life, I was asking really fun, ignorant questions like, well, how come? Why have I never met you, or anyone like you? And so that just really got to me, and I started thinking, well, this is not right. Why are they all over somewhere else separate from me, and I don't meet them and they don't meet me? And that was really what got me going. And then when I ran into my wife, Julie, and together we had the energy to kind of get this off the ground.
Now, over 20 years, what changes have you seen take place?
The biggest change, I guess, is looking outward instead of inward. So we used to be very focused on the organization, and our programs were all kind of in a site, in a building, and everyone came to us and we did things with them. And now it's the complete opposite. So our office is just a place where the staff meet from time to time, but our time is spent with employers and community partners and helping people in their real homes in the community and not coming to a program. So it's a real flip on its head, and really changing not just the individuals, but the people that they meet doing all these things out in the community.
So Al, you're from Pittsburgh. How does a guy from Pittsburgh connect with a guy from Ottawa?
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for this opportunity to talk a little bit about not just Live, Work, Play, but really the philosophy behind Live, Work, Play. And that really was the bridge for my connection with Keenan and Live, Work, Play. I've been at this for 44, 45 years as a disability advocate. But when I was working on my PhD, I got introduced to the whole construct of social capital and the power of relationships. And as Keenan just said, in terms of his own voyage, discovering the void that people with disabilities have in their lives, and is a loss of social capital, or it's not having social capital to begin with. What we know about social capital is that it makes life better.
Right. What is it exactly? How do you define social capital?
Yeah, the phrase social capital really talks about the value, capitalization of your social networks. So theoretically, we know that our relationships provide instrumental value, emotional value, and informational value. The instrumental value is actually the tangible. It's reciprocity. So if Derick, if you did something for me, if we had a relationship, then I would do something back for you.
Right.
That sort of exchange, that bartering, is really valuable. But more powerful is the emotional support that our relationships give to us. That when we're with people that we care about or feel good about, we actually our stress goes down. And when our stress goes down, our immunity system actually goes up. We actually are healthier, happier, we live longer, we get jobs, we get things in life, we achieve more, test scores go up based on relationships.
Wow. So basically, I mean, it's a pretty simple concept.
It's absolutely. In fact, Dylan, that's the interesting thing about social capital is it is a phenomena. The Asians have a word that they use called shibumi, and shibumi is this sort of blending of simplicity and complexity, and that's exactly what social capital is. But Live, Work, Play has really manifested this. That's their passion. That's their focus. Getting people connected in community and building relationships.
And how have you been able to do that, though, Keenan? Because as you said, you talked about it, they were this separate entity, and you're on your own, and let's gather you all, because you're different, into one place instead of getting people out. How have you been able to help that?
Well, that's the funny thing when you say it's simple. It's simple, but a lot of the agencies and the systems that are supposed to be helping this happen, they actually focus the wrong way. So having programs where people come and they hang out with paid people, it doesn't accomplish much in terms of increasing their social social capital.
Right.
So the first step is actually just trying. So people will say to me, well, these people can't work. I said, well, I think only employers can decide that. So why don't I go and talk to them? Because it's not actually up to me or you or Derick or Al who can work. It's does this person want to pay them in exchange for work that they will do? And it turns out, yes. And so, but that won't happen if you don't ask. And so a lot of the services that we provide, they're constructed around the idea that success is impossible, but no one's even tried. And so that's the biggest change.
Let me just add to what Keenan is saying. In theory, social capital initiates through bridging. Sociologists call it bridging social capital. And what creates a bridge between you and me are similarities and regularity. So those two ingredients, what we have in common, you know, you're a Dolphin fan, I'm a Steeler fan, so that's a difference. But we're Steeler fans.
Right, yeah.
So that's a bridge. And in fact, that was the bridge that started our relationship. So these bridges work for folks with disabilities as well. If we can find what somebody's excited about or interested in or passionate about, and then find a cluster of community people who gather around that interest, that creates the bridge and the first step to relationships.
We're just running out of time, Keenan. I know we're celebrating tonight
Yes, we are.
Of all the success, but there are still challenges. What can people do? Never mind the people in the community that we're talking about, the people that are outside, supposedly, a community. What can they do to help more?
Just be open that your life could be better if the environments you're in are more inclusive of some of the people that are being excluded. So in your workplace, you can ask questions about hiring practices, and you can get involved with an agency like ours and just ask, this is what I do in my life. It could be rock climbing. It doesn't have to be anything to do with disability services.
Yeah.
It's who are you as a person? There's probably somebody who would enjoy spending time with you.
Well, really looking forward to tonight, guys, and congratulations on a successful 20 years, and can't wait to hear more of your speaking tonight, Al. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Derick.
You can find out more about Live, Work, Play by visiting their website.